Well, I think people always say, this I've heard many times, is that if you ever go back to your code after some period of time and you don't kind of say, what was I thinking, or who wrote this crap, then you know that you haven't improved, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's kind of almost like the WTFs per minute kind of thing that I can think of. Uh, but like, do you have any tips for people who are just beginning about kind of like how can they wrap their mind around this? I joined quite a few Facebook groups, and I can see a lot of people are falling similar categories. Right, they're not able to understand Dart. They're not able to understand how do we do this, how do you do that, and it seems like they're all, or not they're all, but quite a few are also at like, okay, how can I build an API in Django, an app in Flutter, and use MySQL to do this task? Like, do you have any kind of tips that kind of help people out?
You have to start. Just first thing, stop reading and start, because if you keep reading stuff, the information will not flow into your head sufficiently as if you're building stuff and then you face issues and then you need to start Googling how to solve it. Because development, it's extremely unique. The same problem can be solved in many different ways. There is no single answer for everything. Every single developer have their own point of view and their own thinking mechanics. So again, it's just so many different ways. How can one problem be solved? So even though you pick up the book, it not necessarily, even though it's top one, bestseller, whatever, clean architecture. Yes, you can take examples from that, but I think person has to be, it has to follow his own, thinking mechanism. You cannot really force
Mm.
something on top of that, because I think you do what you do the best, in a sense, so it has to just come naturally, because again, developer, not everyone can be developer. Not everyone can stay on an issue and spend 5, 6, 8 hours just to realize that semicolon is missing, for example, or there was some simple, misspelling. That's very frustrating, and that's why, especially nowadays, when people don't really take challenges, they really how it's called, um, damn it, uh, time span, not time span. When people cannot focus on one thing long enough, right? So let's say,
Yeah,
this stuff. I really forgot how it's called. So it's yeah, it's
like a dedication or staying focused, basically, right?
kind of, yeah, because yeah, it's like I work tons of hours. Like I do 60 to 80 hours a week, and when
Mm.
I start some new stuff, I'll be spending hours on extremely simple things, and it's extremely frustrating, but I know I'll get better, and I always do. So it's really, this just kind of mindset you have to have, that it's really hard, and yeah, not everyone can be a developer. That's for sure. And getting back to your question, any tips? It's really just start building stuff. Try to find some bigger projects, and just check, the code, the open source project. Check the code, how people are doing stuff. Try to, have some examples. Maybe
Yeah.
try to, get some top Flutter, influencers in a sense. Follow their YouTube, follow official Flutter channels. Like Flutter Boring is putting quite some good content.
The
So
Boring Show.
yeah, yeah, the Boring Show. They put
Yeah, the Boring Show.
they put content quite a bit. Um,
Mm.
so it's really, yeah, it's lots of stuff. You can spend hours only on listening and watching. So I think you really need to prioritize your time. You cannot always just listen and read and watch. You need to do stuff. So I think that's really the only way to go forward.